I'm Dr. Barry, and I am so excited to get to share with you all on this New Year's Eve my top cases for the channel for 2024. Thank you all. I am so thankful and grateful to each and every one of you. I do this on the side, so I do not have the goal of being a full-time content creator. Like I do this for fun, and I just cover cases that I think we can take something from or learn from. And I was surprised in looking at the analytics that Sarah Boone missed the list. She was not in my top 5 cases. If I add all the analytics together for all the videos, because I think I said I get so many videos, so it probably would reach the list if I count everything together. But for 2024, the top video was one where Christopher Gregor's parents testified outside of the presence of the jury. And that case was just, oh, that was such a heartbreaking case. And wow. And so to get to watch this with you all, and because I think, yeah, that's at my home office. To get to watch this with you all and go through it, y'all. And Christy watched Court TV's top 10, and I think the Gregor case was in their top 10. A lot of my videos, the ones that are in my top 5, are probably in the top 10. I do have the links to each of these videos down in the description. If you missed any of them, this was an incredibly triggering case. So if you do not want to watch any of it's fine. Like you do not have to go back. The second top video for the channel for 2024 was the Christopher Gregor. It was day 7. And I don't think this was sentencing. Was this sentencing as well? I think this was just updating for day 7. And so we have that. The third top case, and I think a part of the reason why this one came to the top was because people were really upset that Karen Murray and Michael Murray, that they were charged in the death of their mother, Sheila Murray. This was a case of severe medical neglect, and they appeared to have significant, because a lot of people looked at them and assumed that there might be some type of mental health, or that they didn't have the capacity to care for their mother, and their lawyers never made that point. The lawyer only made the point because I think Michael Murray might have a diagnosis and was on medication. I think it might have been, what comes to my mind is bipolar disorder. I don't remember that for sure. But yeah, Tanika, a lot of people didn't think that they seemed developmentally competent, but there was no evidence that came in to say that. Like their lawyers did not present that as a defense, and I'm sure they were tested. And a person can sometimes appear impaired and not be impaired. So I do psychological testing. I test people's cognitive ability, and you can't look at a person and determine their mental capacity. There would need to be psychological testing. And uh and and also, the other sad part about this case is if their father hadn't died of natural causes, he would have also been charged. And a jury might have held him more responsible than Karen and Michael. Because I do think the father in this case was incredibly controlling. So, Sheila's husband, I do think the father in this case was incredibly controlling, and that he likely should have been charged. And the state even said if he hadn't died of natural causes, he would have been charged with in her death as well. Yeah, like it was in this case, the medical staff, the medical team, um, A lot of people were also upset at the sister Sonia, and she didn't reside in the home. She was never an official part of the treatment team. So Tanika, so in I think the father discharged her, and the care plan was that the father, Karen, and Michael would take care of her. So when she was discharged into from the from the facility, especially when it got to the point where she could no longer physically walk, she could no longer like she had lost all ability to care for herself. I think she also couldn't speak too. Once all of that happened, they became her caretakers, and so I do believe that there was they were her caregivers, and so it was a super sad case. Lots of whew, there was a lot of disagreement about it, and I get it. So the 4th video for the channel was Chad Daybell's kid crying. Let me share this tab and let's skip ahead. All right. So the Daybell case, this was number 4, and oi this one was tough, and I think everyone wanted to hear what Chad Daybell's kids what they were gonna say. And it was Emma and Garth that they both testified for the defense. And yeah, we watched it. The cross-examination of both of them, to me, it kind of went towards their credibility, and he was ultimately convicted. But it did bring up family dynamics, and I think that might be case no, it's not case number 4. But family dynamics also came up in one of the most controversial cases that we'll also take a look at too. So then we have the 5th. So I just did top 5 cases. So the 5th case was the Paul Ferguson interview. I'm gonna try to give myself a decent pause. Let's see, a decent pause? Nope, that's not decent. That'll do for now. So, the 4th case no, the 5th case for the channel was taking a look at Paul Ferguson's interview, and, oh my gosh, this one was just because his testimony because I did this after his testimony because I felt it is the same shirt. I felt sorry for him during his testimony because I saw him as a victim of his mother as well. But then I saw this interview and I heard his phone calls. And I think it was somebody testified. I think it was in his sentencing. They talked about how during his pre-sentencing evaluation, he he showed no remorse. There seemed to be this sadistic side, and, so this interview, going back and taking a look at this and just how different he was, because I thought on the stand, I thought Paul Ferguson came across cognitively limited. Like, I was so this was a case where I was looking at him questioning, I wonder if he has some type of mental health, or I wonder if there's something else going on with him. People were saying, does he have autism? People were throwing out medical conditions. Like, people were just like, what's going on with him? When, like, the darker side is just, in my opinion, he seemed to have a history of, like, torturing and punishing people. Like, it was ugh, it was super sad. Um, yes, the judge, because I did cover his sentencing, and oh my gosh, that was wow. And then wow, Denise mentioned being in the courtroom when the kids testified for their dad, for Chad, going back to the Daybell case. The jury didn't buy it. Especially, I felt sorry for Garth, because I think Garth really loved his mom, And I think Garth was just trying to do what his dad wanted. Um, I felt bad for Garth. I just did. No. Oh, you haven't seen any of these. And so these are linked down in the description, top 5 cases. Now we will move into the most controversial cases. So the Ashley Benefield case, that was one of the most controversial. Um, what it did was a lot of people were stuck on, were kind of caught between, was she the victim? And two things can be true at the same time. And I think when I did this video and when I showed it, when we talked about it, I said, I don't know what the jury is going to do, because it does seem like their relationship was toxic, and yet did she have the right to do what she did? And the victim, sorry, and the jury convicted her, and that's where we are. Surprise, my coverage of Deobra Redden. So I think that was number, like, 6 or 7. It might be number 6 or 7. So these other cases had over 30,000 views, which is not typical for my, so, like, hitting, so, oh, it's sweet when they hit, like, 10, 15,000. Aw. So those other, the top video has over 130,000 views. I did take out some of the commercials. If y'all ever watch one of my videos and there are way too many commercials, please just comment, you know, commercials, and I will, just say it in a kind, polite way, and I will go back into YouTube, and because YouTube automatically puts one every, like, 2 minutes, and it is it's it's not a good watch. And so, I try to monitor it and go and delete it, but sometimes I miss cases. The Ashley case, it was hard, and then during her sentencing, they brought in the potential diagnosis of histrionic personality disorder, which, and, we will see if her case is overturned on appeal. There are a few cases that happened this year that could potentially have appellate issues. I do think the one that just happened, y'all know, it was the one where the judge wouldn't let the Odinism come in. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. It was, Libby and Abby. Y'all know me and names. Y'all are gonna put it in the chat. That Delphi case. The Delphi case with Richard Allen, I think that one has a strong appeals potential. Like, uh I compare it to Judge Cranick, who is, like, my top judge all year. Like, Judge Cranick gets, like, all the support. He is my absolute favorite judge. I thought, the judge from the Murdaugh case was gonna be my favorite judge ever. No, no. Judge Cranick knows the law like the back of his hand. He allowed, so the law allowed Sarah to present her self-defense case, because if Judge Cranick had said that Sarah Boone did not provide enough evidence to present a self-defense case, her case could have been overturned on appeal. So Judge Cranick, like, that case, I feel sorry for the appellate lawyer, because he was meticulous in his documentation. He was quoting the law, he was reading it to us. Like, Judge Cranick did a phenomenal job. I don't think Sarah Boone's case will be overturned at all. The Delphi case, and I'm okay with the Delphi case not allowing the cameras into the court, but not allowing certain evidence in, and not allowing the defense to present certain aspects, because the jury is ultimately the one that normally decides what evidence is relevant and what isn't. And so I do think that case has a strong potential for appeal. I and 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 I didn't love the fact that his confessions occurred while he was being prescribed Haldol, and that his competence was never taken a look at, like his competence was never raised. And, if he had had a fair trial, and if they had brought in the Odinism evidence, if they had been able to present a fair defense, I would feel more confident in the jury's decision. I personally don't feel all that confident in it. It's just my own thing. Um, yeah, like that's yeah. I'm agreeing a lot with the chat. Uh, yeah. All right. So Ashley Benefield, that was one of the most controversial. Melody Ferris. Ooh, people got mad. And I don't think they're any of my subscribers. The people that got mad, I do not think that they were. I think they were just, I don't think they were subscribers. Um, and not that they're but I think they were people that saw, like, the algorithm is giving them Melody Ferris content, and yes, because there are a lot of people that still, think that Scott was involved. There are a lot of people that still have questions. Her case could potentially have some appeals issues because at the last minute, they came up there they found new evidence. So, the testimony of is it Martha Jane? Y'all know me in names. I think it's Martha Jane. The testimony from the woman who was watching Recovery Addict, the fact that she then got a conscience and was like, "Oh yeah, the man in the corner with the headphones." When she's watching court TV, she was watching Recovery Addict. When she was watching it on YouTube, she realizes, "Oh yeah, I am missing a weapon, and I never said anything about it." I thought it was Martha Jane. And so towards the end of the year, so I am getting so much better. So I changed my channel name from Dr. Barry Responds to Dr. Barry Reacts. I just changed because responds because I want to be able to respond to people's comments, but not everything requires a response. And so like I just needed to set a boundary for myself that like if people as long as they don't go too I don't like, I'm letting some contents live on the channel because then people start arguing back and forth, and hopefully the video's playing in the background, and it's like, if you don't like a video, please, thank you for the support, but, like, if you comment on a video you don't like, the algorithm thinks you like me. They just do, because he is an exhibit. Recovery Addict is his face. 'Cause they present Martha Jane, "Is this what you were watching?" Like so this one could because all of a sudden there's this brand new testimony because we were able to overhear the phone call where she called to report because it was a recorded line to the police station. We were able to hear the recorded line of her calling in to say that she had new evidence. And so this one could have appeals stuff too, but we'll see. Appeals courts like respecting, and y'all know I'm not a lawyer, but I like watching stuff on TV. Like I like watching this stuff, and from everything I've seen and heard, the courts often respect the lower so I think it's 5% of cases get overturned on appeal. I was surprised the Karen Reed case because I did think in the Karen Reed case that the judge should have let because the defense didn't even know that she was about to excuse the jury. Like when she declared the mistrial and excused the jury, the defense was just looking like, what just happened? Because it was so quick. And Emily D. Baker covered that appeals hearing. So, and I think a few other content creators covered it too, but it's just Lori, it's a Tuesday. It's 2:20 PM on in my yeah. Karen Reed was definitely a controversial case, but I didn't see as many back and forth about if she was innocent or guilty. I think a lot of people felt the case against her was unfair. Like I think especially with Trooper Proctor and all the evidence that came out, and then I think one of the witnesses might have been involved with the with another case, and so, like, it sounds like there's just problems, and we'll see what happens. The other controversial case where a lot of people went back and forth was, alright, and so let's get a good pause. Okay, so I have a good pause. I wanna give people a good pause too. Alright. So Carly Gregg, I think she was 14. I'm bad with dates and names and stuff. But she was convicted in unaliving her mother. The video of before and you can hear during and then you see her after and then you see her text the friend and all of that was very problematic for me to watch. It was just but this case brought up how should we handle child children that engage child killers. Like that's what this case brought up. Um yeah, Carly Gregg. And there was another case recently. I did not cover it here on my channel. I will try to find the link to it real quick because the judge handled the sentencing totally different. This child, he was 12 years old when so we're gonna do hand signals, like, so when he used a knife and unalived a 9-year-old at a playground. And the judge handled his case totally different. Um, and sometimes it's different jurisdictions, different states. He mentioned the Alabama case. The judge in this case mentioned the Alabama case. We might watch that real quick just to see it. Let me find it. I watch too much YouTube. I'm going through all of my recent watched, and it's taking me a while to find this one. There we go. I found it. All right. So let me go on ahead and share this tab. If y'all have any questions, once we watch this, let me know. All right. So this is the case of Jamarion Lawhorn, and he was found guilty by a Michigan jury of first-degree capital M. And this incident happened back in 2015. So I wonder if this is an old case. No, this can't be an old case. That's weird. Because it's law and crime trials. But the judge in this case ended up talking about so this I think this is his mother that was in the courtroom, and it looks like she's also incarcerated. Um they show him coming in. There he is. Um but the judge sentenced him to we're just going to listen to this part. All right. Y'all know, so I'm gonna do it at 1.25. If it's too fast, I will slow it down. Gonna do closed captions, and let's go ahead and watch this.
Review as the law requires. The court is also mindful of other circumstances in the case. I am also the judge who was in the Lawhorn neglect case, and I have extensive knowledge of the family from which Jamarion comes. He has been raised in a home with a lengthy history of neglect and physical abuse. His mother had her parental rights terminated over 2 previous children a number of years ago for physical abuse. Child Protective Services were involved with the family in August and September of 2005 and as recently as May and June of 2013. In 2013, Ms. Lawhorn and her longtime partner, Bernard Harrell, were substantiated for physical abuse of Jamarion. He was beaten with an extension cord so brutally as to leave permanent scarring on his legs.
So major trigger warnings, okay? Major trigger warnings for this one.
Then he was moved to his father's home in New York, where he was beaten by his alcoholic paternal grandmother before being returned to Grand Rapids and his mother and Mr. Harrell's home. And I must say that the court was not entirely persuaded by Ms. Lawhorn's or Mr. Harrell's trial testimony that neither had used physical punishment on Jamarion since 2013. While no child should be subjected to neglect and physical abuse like Jamarion was, the court understands and appreciates that a troubled upbringing is neither a legal defense to murder nor an excuse for violent behavior. But Jamarion was 12 years old when he committed this killing, and it would be naive to conclude that his life experience had nothing to do with his scheme of killing someone so that he would be arrested and executed. The U.S. Supreme Court, Miller versus Alabama, which is sort of the most recent case that the court has decided, a case where a 14-year-old child from Alabama had killed someone, that's someone who was 2 years older than Jamarion at the time he committed this crime, explained in some detail the reason why we as a society treat juvenile killers differently than adult killers. The court relied on 3 significant gaps between juveniles and adults. First, children have a lack of maturity and an underdeveloped sense of responsibility, leading to recklessness, impulsivity, and heedless risk-taking. Second, children are more vulnerable to negative influences and outside pressures, including from their family and peers. They have limited control over their own environment and lack the ability to extricate themselves from horrific crime-producing settings. And third, a child's character is not as well formed as an adult's. His traits are less fixed and his actions less likely to be evidence of irretrievable depravity. The court further noted that as science has progressed, the science continues to show fundamental differences between juvenile and adult brains. For example, in parts of the brain involved in behavior control. There is a difference between a 12-year-old and an adult making a horrible decision like this. The case is a tragedy all the way around for any of us who have been involved in it. A 12-year-old child brutally murdered at random, a 9-year-old defenseless child, leaving behind a family that aches over the loss of a child deprived of the ability to grow up, to fall in love, and to make life choices for himself. And the 12-year-old killer who did not choose to be raised in an abusive and neglectful home is now faced with coming to terms with the pain he has inflicted, losing his freedom, and losing the ability to lead a normal childhood and adolescence. It is the court's decision to impose a blended sentence in this case. That is a disposition that delays the imposition of a prison of sentence under MCL 712A.18(1)M. The court places Jamarion on probation under MCL 712A.18 sub 1 sub B with appropriate conditions. Those conditions include being committed to the Muskegon River Youth Home under MCL 712A.18(1) sub D. The court reserves and delays the imposition of a prison sentence unless and until a request is made to impose a sentence of imprisonment. As I understand the positions of the parties, both parties agree that it is appropriate to simply wait to determine an appropriate sentence if and when the court is asked to impose such a sentence. I do want to remind everyone, and I'll of course remind Jamarion at review hearings, that violations of probation under the law can result in the revocation of the probation and the imposition of the adult prison sentence. It is critical that Jamarion make his best efforts at the Muskegon River Youth Home to take advantage of the services, to abide by the rules, and to prove to all of us and to himself that he is capable of turning his life around. I believe in redemption. I'm not willing to give that up on a 13-year-old boy at this point. Jamarion, you have the right to appeal your conviction to the Michigan Court of Appeals. The court will appoint you an attorney if you cannot afford one. We are about to provide you with a form to request a court-appointed attorney. You must complete the form and return it to the court within 42 days.
All right. So I did a little research while that was playing, and this case was from 2014. And it looks like the conviction or this sentencing happened in 2015. It just came in my algorithm a few days ago. And I will put the link to this down in the description. Do you need the iPad? What's going on? Yep. Are you done reading? Did you read?
I have two more minutes left.
Okay, of reading. Okay. And then so stay over here.
Two first.
Yeah. All right. So you can go ahead. There you go.
Have 2 more minutes.
My co-host. Yep. So we'll round those minutes up. So you did your 60 minutes, okay? All right. Yes. All right. All right. I am back from parenting. So this is while I was covering this, while that video was playing, I looked up his case. It looks like he is doing well, which is awesome. And I shared a link to it down in the description. And he did an interview and mentioned that that was him at his worst. And then the quote is, I went to somebody who didn't have anything to do with what I was going through, and I have to live with that every day." Yeah. All right. Um, and so it looks like he was released, and this was back in 2022 is when this article came out. Um, all right. All right. Uh, and so instead of being called Kent County's youngest killer, he wants to just be called Jamarion Lawhorn. All right. So sad. The family gave impact statements during that video that I showed. I'll make sure to put the link to that video and I'll make sure to put that link there too. But like, wow. So that was a very, very sad case. Um, uh, and I think one of the big, um, I think sometimes the judge makes a difference. Sometimes the state laws make a difference. What the prosecutor, how they view the case, all of those things play into how different cases move forward. I will be watching y'all know me. I pushed a button and disappeared. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. Y'all, I don't know what happened, but I disappeared. Thank y'all for staying. I will be covering um it's the Michigan mother. Um, she wants to be released because her case, I think, is being overturned. Jennifer Crumbly. She is working to appeal her sentence. And because it came out that the defense wasn't aware that so Jennifer Crumbly, that was the Oxford this video, yeah. So this was the Oxford high school shooting, and it came out that the school witnesses were given. My understanding of it is they were given like immunity, like they were given some deal by the state that the defense wasn't aware of, where their testimony, I think, I don't know, but there was some deal that happened. Yes, Crumbly. Me and technology. You thought it was you. It wasn't you. I went poof. It was so odd. But she is fighting for a new trial, and she wants to be released from prison while she awaits that new trial. Because um, they so why is she seeking an appeal? I pulled up an article to take a look just to get my facts together. Um, yes, so two of the witnesses were given proffer agreements because they had criminal exposure. That's what Jennifer Crumbly's lawyer believes. to the extent that these witnesses testified so as to also and she's saying that because of these proffer agreements that they shifted responsibility onto her. And so Jennifer Crumbly is trying to say the school had custody of like her child is at school that happened there and that they were responsible. I do think like the family purchased him a weapon, like they bought it for him. They did not secure that weapon. They did not notify the school that there was a weapon. Like I think this case is complicated. And so yes. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. And so all right. Lauren went to check to see if her kids were reading too. Our kid, he's supposed to read 400 minutes a month, and we, like, track the minutes, and so we can round up 2. We can round up 2 minutes. "Hey, Lisa." Uh, I hope everybody has a happy New Year. Yes, her attorney was the same attorney as Larry Nasser, and her attorney is the one that offered to let Jennifer Crumbly come and live in her guest house. Like, I've I've never her attorney's closing, I couldn't get through it. Like, I had to, because she started getting into things that made me uncomfortable. Like, I was not able to do it, but, um, like, so I guess but I think she was just trying to say that sh she would keep an I don't know, it was weird, but she offered to let her come and live in her guest house. Boundaries are important. That is what I will say with that. Are there any cases that were your favorite cases that I covered this year? Let me know if there was a case that I covered. So Sarah Boone is the honorable mention. That case, justice was served for George. Sarah Boone will spend the rest of her life in jail. We will probably see some more letters, I could imagine. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know. She'll probably find a way to make those letters public. But yes. Uh Let me look up Jennifer Crumbly's sentence. Jennifer, because I thought it was life. Was it life? Oh, no, so ten years. So it looks like we're sentenced to at least 10 years in prison. So minimum was 10 years, according to the AP. According to a quick Google search. 10 years, yes. I've covered too many cases. Oh, yeah. So I did do 2 videos on the Melody Ferris case. Um I didn't watch every minute of it. Recovery Addict covered it pretty thoroughly, and then Recovery Addict went on The Lawyer You Know and did a podcast, interview with, Peter. And so, check that out if you haven't checked that out yet. I thought it was good. Alright. Oh, so Sarah was transferred yesterday. May she be in a single room that's very small, because she's claustrophobic, and so I have mm. She did another letter? 'Cause, I did cover I was very, very happy to, um I was that last letter, her forgiveness letter, 'cause, I covered that one as well. Some of the high points, and we translated it. I was incredibly snarky, very, very snarky, grisly true crime, beyond behind what's the sofa? On the soap? Y'all know me and names. Paul would be very proud. I was very snarky. That letter was just ridiculous. Y'all are yeah, reporting live from my sofa. Thank you. I knew it was something with a sofa. And if I didn't wanna say it, I could totally remember what it was, but when I'm on the spot, I can't remember it. And so I did more live videos this year. I really enjoy live videos. I love the engagement of the chat. This community is awesome. You all are phenomenal. Please let me know if there are cases that you all want for me to cover. I am keeping an eye on the OnlyFans, that one down in Florida. I'm keeping an eye on that one. The uh, Chorizo, I'm keeping an eye on that case out in, I think it's New Mexico. I'm bad with names and places, but there are cases that I am definitely keeping an eye on. It looks like Donna Adelson has a trial date in 2025, and we will continue chugging along. If I also share to the community tab. So I share just general resources, general tools. If there are ever things that y'all want for me to break down more, if you're like, yes, but how? Yes, but I need some tips. Let me know because I might make a short video or I might do a full video to kind of break things down a little bit more. Because let me just share one of the recent ones that that I did. Um, and what I do with these is I literally so I go to my timeline on Instagram or over on Facebook and I snapshot and I give whoever posted it, I give them credit. If there is credit given to whoever the original creator was, um, but this one was really powerful, and that's why I wanted to share this one with you all. It's called Things I Stopped Doing to Create Healthier Relationships. Number one, expecting people to read my mind and guess how I feel because people are bad at like it's gonna set you up for disappointment. It's not gonna work. Pretending to be okay, pretending to be strong and okay when I'm not, being silent about things that have hurt me, dishonoring my boundaries to keep the peace, punishing myself for not healing fast enough, carrying emotional baggage that does not belong to me, overextending myself to make everyone happy, which that's going to cause more stress and pain. It's not going to be helpful. That's the recipe for burnout. Trying to get people to change, heal, and grow who weren't ready, staying in relationships that have expired, refusing to let go because I was too scared of what could come next, avoiding conflict and hoping things would just get better. So, um, yeah, I am curious to see what happens with the Alexi Treviso case. I am really excited to see. I am gonna keep an eye on the Kohlberger case. If some of the just depending if any mental health testimony. So I love when mental health testimony comes in because hearing from the experts, helping break down their terminology, what impressions they're giving, especially state experts versus defense experts. So, any cases that involve insanity defense or mental health, Corey, yeah. So Corey Richins will, Corey Richins will definitely be one that I follow because she's changed her plea to not guilty by reason of insanity, and so I will definitely be following that one. And I'm so glad that the resources are a great help. Yeah. And and the hard part, because I guess the fact that the police were there as her doctors were kind of talking with her and yeah. So I do wonder if some of that evidence is going to get thrown out. I do wonder. So I did cover the Menendez brothers. I talked about the documentary and male victims of SA. It's my understanding that they're going to have two separate parole hearings because they were found not eligible for parole, and I think they are going to be able to go to a parole board, but their cases are being viewed separately. And that's probably because, like, if their behavior has been different in prison, or the parole board is viewing them, individually. So Eric will go before the board, and Lyle will go before the board. And so, yeah, let me just check to make sure it's true, because that's what I thought. I get too much Richins, because I'm almost positive that I saw that she had changed her plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Do, do, do. Let me just see. I'm almost positive I heard that recently. Almost positive. Oy. Let me look up Dr. Oziel. Let me see what that is. Yeah. So I talked about, so Dr. Oziel was from the Menendez brothers case, and it's if you Google him, it sounds like, because he lost his license to practice psychology because of he taped his clients without their knowledge, and it was he talked with his girlfriend. He was married. He talked with his girlfriend about the case, and like there were a lot of issues that came up, and he did lose his ability to practice psychology. I think he's a coach now, though. Okay. I think he's a coach. So I did do a video on Sydney Powell. I believe she's trying to appeal her case. Sydney Powell, I know she's trying to appeal. Oh, yeah, the court overturned. Wow, she's going to get a new trial. Wow. And appeals. Okay, let me share this tab. Wow, wow, wow. Let me share. I knew that was coming up. An appeals court ruled that the trial court wrongly prevented Powell's attorney from presenting testimony that would have rebutted a state witness. Yes, they wanted a second rebuttal, and they were not allowed to give a second rebuttal. So she is going to get a new trial. So I will definitely keep an eye on that. I did cover her case the first time around, so I will definitely keep an eye on that one. I hope you all have a happy new year. Uh did you ever cover Wade Wilson? Yes, I did cover Wade Wilson. Um I have a and if you ever can't find a video, just comment. And, because Wade Wilson, let me see what happens when you just go to YouTube and you type in Wade Wilson, Dr. Patrice Berry. Let's see what happens when you do that. Will my videos come up? Yes. So, if you just go to the Googles, no, not Google, go to YouTubes and just type in Dr. Patrice Berry. So, I learned a new term. I had not heard of hybristophilia. That's where people fall in love with a criminal, because the allure around him was weird and creepy, and because I think Kohlberger might even have some fans, and like people that fall in love with serial killers. There is a psychological term for it. There is research behind it. And so I did cover, one of the psychologists talked about his brain scans. He was also an expert in a different case. I forget which case. I know I skipped his testimony in that case. Um, there was a second expert, and he was sentenced. So I covered that. And then I covered Wade Wilson and Sean Finnegan. So those are the two videos that I have covering that case. All right. All right. The Alexi Treviso case was odd because I think she was trying to not make her mom mad. I in the video I did talking about her case, somebody asked me to take a look at the interrogation or the hospital video, and I took a look at all that and talked about the family dynamics because also when the cops come to arrest Alexi, now I think her mom is protective just from what I saw and from what I could see, it seemed like there weren't great boundaries, just in my opinion. I don't know the relationship. I don't know them personally, but it seemed like there weren't great boundaries. And it seemed like Alexi was keeping a lot from her mom. And her biggest thing was just for her mom to not find out that she was pregnant. Like, and it seems like she did know that she was and had talked about baby names, and that's what now there this case hasn't went to trial yet, so we don't know what will happen when it does, but, uh, it's a difficult one. Oh, so the hard thing with federal cases is there's no TV, like, there's not gonna be any, TV coverage, okay? So I did cover Diddy's, lawsuit, the Cassie Ventura lawsuit against Diddy. I did cover that. Um, uh, I know Jay-Z has also been brought into this. He denies the allegations. And their things are going back and forth. The lawyer, there are a lot of lawyers that are talking about this. And so yes. So with hybristophilia, please check out that video because it's too much to go into right now. I did cover Aaliyah Boulabon as well. Yes, yes. I covered his. I think somebody tried to claim parts of my video, so I had to clip certain parts out. It was weird because I think there's a Netflix documentary that might have purchased some of the footage. I don't know, but somebody tried to copyright claim portions of the video. So there's one video where I pinned a comment that I had to clip some portions out. All right. And I think Lyle, because I think he has somebody, like, I think he's might be divorced or something happened with Lyle. That I saw that in the news. All right. Oh. So Allison, if the Madeline Soto case comes up, please just skip it. So um anytime I cover a case, I try to make sure that there's something that we can learn or grow from it. And um, I might just cover the sentence if that case does go to trial. Because I think he has federal. He's gonna be tied up in federal court. I thought it was federal. I could be wrong. His child, C CP, his, child his yes, those that horrific stuff. So we will keep an eye on that, yeah. So, I don't like to just play stuff just for us to just watch it. So I try to just cover it if there's something that we can learn about it, if people have questions. There are people that ask me to cover certain cases, and I'm like, "What question do you have?" Or like, what's the psychological thing that we're taking a look at? So, when cases involve a mental health diagnosis, when cases involve personality disorders or traits or features, if there's mental health testimony that comes in, if there are allegations of DV, those types of cases, I normally cover. But yeah. Witness. It's so sad. Like, there are women, like, especially for Wade Wilson, I did listen to the jail calls, okay? So I never shared them here. Phone calls from prison. The algorithm lets me know as soon as a new phone calls from prison video comes out, because I did listen to the most recent one. I think it's Amanda. He's trying to get $10,000 out of a woman, and, like, I do listen to the videos, but that's it. I did listen to the phone call of that was a recent case. Let me go. Y'all know me in names. I'm gonna get better at names. It's so hard. Chloe Driver. So after Chloe Driver was found guilty, she called her boyfriend, and that video is available for you to listen to because those videos are being recorded and they are not private. So somebody paid for that video and they released it. And if anyone was kind of feeling sorry for her, yes. So Chloe Driver, you're probably talking about Chloe Driver. If anybody was feeling sorry for Chloe Driver, listening to that phone call, you probably won't feel sorry for her anymore. You probably won't. All right. Oh, so I am definitely going to cover Lori Vallow pro se. I will cover I will probably cover a lot of that one. Okay. So Lori Vallow pro se, because I think that is going to get I feel sorry for the victims in the case. I feel sorry for the people that she has to cross-examine. I do think there's a potential she might call Chad just to get to talk and see him, like, in person, because I don't think they've seen each other in person in a while, and I think she's gonna present some wild theory, and I don't know who she's gonna point the finger at, but I am definitely gonna be watching. Oh, it was already a mistrial? Wow, I didn't know that one already went to trial. Let me pull that one up. Mr. Prada, that one already went to trial? Are you talking about Mr. Prada? I'm trying to see, because I just see articles from 3 months ago. 'Cause I know he was charged with first degree. Let me try to do his real name. Tyrion. So I haven't seen that. You all can email me at info@drpatriceberry if y'all ever have cases. I do not reply to those emails, but if you ever have cases, if you ever have resources that you want to share with me, it's info@drpatriceberry.com. All right. You know me in names. Y'all want it on. They're so bad. I did get my, Emily D. Baker, I ordered, a hoodie. I got my Law Nerd hoodie, and it was thinner than but, like, it's nice material, but it's like a hoodie that you could even wear in, like, this like, it's a light hoodie. I live in Virginia where it gets really cold, so I do normally do a heavier hoodie, but, so I've enjoyed wearing it, around the house or wearing it under a jacket. But yeah, I got my Law Nerd hoodie. It was super awesome. It's gonna be a train wreck. I did see Colby Ryan's video talking about, just his feelings. This is bringing up a lot. This is opening a lot of old wounds. Colby could be called by the prosecution. Lori could also call Colby as well. And so, yes. All right. Question. Thank you for the cues. Would you take a look at the trial for Maya Millette? Let me pull that one up. Or did you? Whoa, I hadn't heard of this one. Okay, it looks like it's starting in January. So, I can definitely take a look at it. Super interesting facts case, in my opinion. Thank you, thank you. So I can definitely take a look at it. Virginia does too get cold. It can be like 20 degrees. Is that yeah. You collect coffee mugs and you need me to make them. I am thinking of doing the don't do crimes one. So I am strongly considering doing the don't do crimes one. All right. So let's take a quick look at the Maya Millette. And so this is on let's see. All right. Let's learn about it together. I know nothing about this case. So let's share. We're just hanging out. -40. See, Canadians, I can't, nope, like, I don't do negatives. I'm starting to get older because I used to say the weather shouldn't be younger, like, it shouldn't be less than my age, but I'm getting too old for that now. Alright. So, Maya Millette's husband is on trial. I believe she disappeared in 2021 was the last time that she was seen alive. And in October of 2021, her husband was arrested. Her body has never been recovered. This happened in California. A San Diego County judge on Tuesday agreed to a defense request to reschedule the beginning of the trial of Larry Millette, and I might be saying that wrong, accused of unaliving his wife, mother of their 3 children. Yes. All right. And so there might be some deep dives into this one on YouTube. Oh, Maya was a civilian working with military, fairly high level position and respected. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I didn't talk about the case. Okay, so here was a case that I didn't get to talk about this year. The man oh, so I'm gonna look it up. The details, so trigger warning for essay. Um, this is a case out of France. Gisele, and it's French. So is it Gisele Pelicot? It's Pelicot. But her husband drugged her, and and pretty much had other men essay her. And that case turned my stomach. Like, because that was a case that people wanted me to take a look at. And that is just another level of evil that I don't even want to think could even exist. Ah, Pelico. Thank you. But this is the spelling. Looks like this is the pronunciation. Like, that case is super duper triggering. And she has come forward and she is speaking. She's aware now of, because she went all these years without knowing that this is what was happening to her. And so, like, that, like, I don't think that's, like, I think that's just, it feels evil to me. Like, that just feels wrong. And that just feels, because sometimes people are like, "Oh, like, what's the mental health thing that could be going on with," like, that's just psychopathic. And so sometimes in psychology, we have words to describe things, but, like, that is just, that's unimaginable. Straight up evil and just horrible. And so, I couldn't find a way to cover it where it wouldn't be just horrific. Now, if she does a documentary talking about her life after this, talking about how she's picked the pieces back up, how she's figured out how to move forward. Um, um, yeah. And Lisa's sharing details that they found evidence of over 50 men, but they believe that there are over 90 men that violated her within a 9-year time frame. And that's just whoa. And so I did a Melody Ferris video, and one of them should be linked. I did her sentencing, but I also did another video talking about Melody Ferris. So that is down in the description. So it was at least 9 years. I'm guessing, because I don't think somebody starts with that. And somebody that does something like that, I'm guessing there was probably a history of boundary violations in DV. Like, because to me, you don't just become that unsafe. Like, you just don't start doing something like that. Like, to me, there were probably other issues, there were other things that probably happened in their relationship, and so, like, and so Jessica, um, I think, so she was unconscious, and, I think she attributed the symptoms to, because I think sometimes she might wake up and so please take a look at the case if you wanna understand how somebody could truly not understand how she could not know, but, um, and let me see if there's anybody that's covered this case in a good way. 'Cause like I said, I couldn't find a way to do it without it being just traumatizing. Okay. So, wow. There's a BBC video that said that she wanted to see the videos of what had happened to her. Um, it's just, so let me see if because there's probably information available, because her husband is 72 years old, and he was sentenced to 20 years in jail, which that seems light to me. But he's 72, so he'll probably die in prison. Wow. Just a horrific case. Horrific case. And so that one's just very triggering, and I haven't dove all the way down the rabbit hole on that one. Um, Lori, those were the vibes I got, that she was probably in an unsafe relationship, and that type of gaslighting would be like, it's just like, she is such a fighter. And um and the only reason why he was caught is because he was upskirting. He was in the supermarket taking pictures of strangers, and they seized his phone, and then they found those videos, and then they reached out to his wife to see if she was aware, and she was not aware. So if he hadn't, she still would probably he would still probably be doing the same thing if he hadn't, like, if this hadn't happened. And then, to me, somebody that could do something like that, there are probably other things that people don't. He's probably done other things. Those are just my personal thoughts. I don't know that for sure. Um, Lisa also commented. So Lisa's covered this case, has followed this case very closely. She suffered memory loss, numerous STDs, and other medical issues. And her husband would then accuse her of cheating, which is ridiculous. Happy New Year's. And so in the UK, y'all should be, because it's like 9 p.m. there, I think. And so, is anybody already in the new year? Do I have any viewers that are already in the new year? All right. Wow. And then Lindsay also mentioned that her kids spoke of her being sleepy all the time, falling asleep at dinner once. So it's 8. Cool. Me and math. My bad. I did 4. So it's 8 p.m. Cool. So witness, that's where, when people wanted me to talk about it, I think there's probably more that he's done that we're not even aware of, because I don't think that's what you start with. I think there are other boundary violations. Oy. Lisa also mentioned that there. Oh, yeah. So Lisa, that's what I was thinking. I was wondering if he had ever um done anything to any of his children. That's what I was wondering. I will have to look up this case. See, because y'all follow this. So Marissa, so he wasn't charged with anything like that. It doesn't look like there was any recording of that. Um, so there is a Guardian article that I think it's an interview with the daughter, because she's wondering, did he drug me too? She fears that she might have also been one of his victims. Um, so I will share a link to that article in the chat. Really. Yeah. So that's where I just like that just seems like pure evil. The daughter wrote a book. Cool. Awesome. Yes. And so her name is Caroline Darian. That is the daughter's name. All right. Do y'all have any last minute questions? So going into 2025, if all you did in 2024 was get through it, I am so proud of you. Just keep going. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. There are people that will start sharing all the phenomenal things that they did in 2024. If all you did was put one foot in front of another, I am so proud of you. Keep going. And I try to share tools and tips here, especially for people that are struggling, and I try to create a safe space for people. I'm honest about my own mental health and the supports that have been helpful to me, and then the supports that I give to my clients as well. And I do this because there are I turn away between 5 to 20 people a week because my private practice is full. I can't help everyone that needs help. And so I try to create this free content just to be able to give people a safe space to be seen, a safe space to be heard. If you missed, I did a phenomenal interview with Leroy Moore right before this video today. He was a producer, a consulting producer on the Tell Me You Love Me documentary. If you could check out that interview, it was really awesome. He has the same diagnosis as the victim in that case, and he shared a different perspective. And I so appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. I will see y'all in the new year. My plan is to stream. So the next stream will probably be Tuesday the 7th at 6 p.m. So that is the plan. Um, that is the plan for the next video. I'm going to take the rest of the week off. Please rest. If you don't rest, your body will force you to. In the US, there's this respiratory thing that's going around. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, minding your health, and getting help and support when you need it. I so appreciate you all, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye.